Hi, I'm Serena Simmons and welcome to 8 Model Psychology. Today, so exciting, we're looking at a vision for 2018. Now, if you've been around 8 for any length of time, then you will know that we are a big fan of having a vision for your future self. By having a vision, we mean having clarity about who you want to be and where you want to be in your future. That can include a vision for your future business or career, your future relationships. It can also include income, and it will also include your vision for your future self in terms of your health and your well-being, and also maybe how you look. So today is really exciting because I'm going to be sharing with you 4 steps that will help you start to plan your year ahead and get that vision into action. Now, just before we delve in, I just want to say that this is something that I do myself. I never share anything here at 8 that I don't actually do in my own life, and typically that's because I think it's a really good way of working, but also because I know it works. In actual fact, a lot of my friends know that I do this, have taken on a similar kind of thing themselves. Also, my clients do it. So the thing that I do is I literally take myself away for a couple of days and I plan. I go to town. I literally have notebooks and planners, and I spend loads of time really indulging what I want to accomplish that year. I find it really exciting, and I think once you get into the habit of doing this, you will too. It's kind of exciting, not just because you can plan these amazing things for the year ahead, but also it's kind of magical because the minute you start to plan something and you implement actions towards it, you know it's going to happen. So without further ado, let's delve into those steps. Step number 1 is to reflect on last year. Now, this might sound really obvious, and you might think, well, of course I've kind of thought about how my year went last year. It was rubbish. Or it was amazing. Well, great. Whatever you thought it was, get that stuff on paper, have it in front of you, because from that you can pull out the information that you need in order to make those strategic steps for the year ahead. So for this, I would really encourage you to get a big piece of paper and a pen, or just actually physically write it down versus doing this on a laptop, because it's easier to change things, cross things out and move things around. And when it comes to reflecting, I would encourage you to reflect under these 5 main themes, and they are home, work or business, love, money and health. Now, I say these 5 themes because these 5 themes are really what makes up a full life. So for home, you might literally want to reflect on how your home life is, but that could be very specific and even include the physical. So it might include things like you want to decorate your house or move home. It might also include things like the feeling and the ambience of your house. So are you happy with going home? Do you like the communication that occurs in the household and how you function? The other area, and it's one of the main areas of focus for anyone really, and especially with the clients that I work with who are very entrepreneurial and business minded, and that is your career or your business. How did it go for you last year? Did you reach your milestones? Did you earn the income you wanted to earn or find the clients you wanted to work with? Again, the pluses and the minuses should be written down, the positives and the negatives. So don't censor yourself, just write it all down. Do the same for love, so your love life. Do the same for money, and do the same for your health. And just to be clear, by your health, I mean your diet, your exercise, and anything specifically to do with your body. Once you've done all that, you can move on to step number 2, and that is to plan ahead. So by this, I mean to literally start to write down some of the ideas that you have around the things that you want to accomplish next year. Or in this case, this year, 2018. Now, you might already have some things in mind. Don't worry about scheduling them just yet, because that's another step ahead. But just write those things down. Now, if you're struggling to come up with the ideas that you have for this year, go back and look at the things that you've written for last year and essentially feed forward. In other words, based on what you did, what would you like to change and how would that look? Like I said, you might have very specific things that you know you want to achieve already, especially if it's kind of business related, or even your body or your love life. You might actually know about some of the things that you want to do this year, and that's so exciting. So get those written down. Step number 3 is a super easy one, but really crucial, and that is to go back and look at the list of the things that you want to achieve and make sure it's doable and realistic. In other words, if you know that you want to increase your income and that's one of your goals for the year, then if you're on a salary of 20 grand a year and you're looking at earning $1 million by next Christmas, then you might be actually setting yourself up to fail. So I'm just saying that make sure your list is realistic and you feel like it's actually something that you can do. Now, I'm not saying that everything has to feel comfortable. That's a different issue altogether. Some of those things should be stretching you and pushing you outside of your comfort zone, but they shouldn't be not within the realms of capability. Step 4 then is to actually start to implement a strategy. And by that I mean basically just to diarise it. Schedule it. Plot some of those things across your year, across your calendar, and then begin to logically and sequentially work backwards so that you're working towards those goals. Now, I just want to share a couple of tips with you that will help you, particularly with that part of the strategy. So the first tip is to have only one main goal for next year. Now, that might be a big goal. For example, you might have one of the goals to be to grow your business. Now, what I would suggest you do is to be very specific about what growing looks like. In other words, if it's client-based, how many clients do you want to have? Or if it's income that you're looking at, how much income do you want to bring in? And essentially that would be your big main goal for the year. Aside from your main goal, the other thing I would say is some things are non-negotiable. In other words, your self-care and your well-being should always come first. So at no time should you ever think about compromising things like your diet, your exercise, and just taking time out when you need it. That's something you should always do. The other thing is to choose a method that works for you. So I've said diarising works for me, and I like to have a great big kind of plan. And another tip there is I use post-it notes across the year so I can move them around when I want to. But essentially find a method in that manner that works for you. The other thing I want to share with you is the one thing that can really help or hinder you with this is your mindset. Don't forget that how you think and how you relate to this is so vital. But actually that's something that we're going to share and look at next week. So I hope you found this strategy useful. I think it's really exciting. And don't forget, if you like what you've seen, please click on the link below to subscribe. And that way you get this in your inbox every single week. Bye!